Proof doesn't matter, corruption hides in plain sight, and justice is just another deal to be made. That's not a line from a movie, that's real life. And this is my brother's story, a story I've spent years fighting to tell. Free Woody. In April of 2012, my brother Larry, we call him Woody, or that's his nickname, he was arrested in Broward County, Florida. The charge? Attempted first-degree murder of a law enforcement officer. A cop claimed Larry fired a gun at a passing patrol car. That accusation alone was enough to lock him away, set his bail at $250,000, and start a nightmare that would last nearly 4 years. So here's the thing. Larry never fired that gun. He never even touched it. The man who did, Richard Barker, admitted to it. He was a convicted felon, tied to the Broward Sheriff's Office through family, and the state protected him at all costs. They shifted the blame, twisted statements, and framed Larry as a shooter. It was corruption hiding behind the badge. I got the interrogation DVDs. I transcribed them myself. What I saw made me sick. Detectives called my brother bro, 86 times in one sitting while they lied straight to his face. We know you did it. Everyone else said you fired the gun. We have an eyewitness. We have your prints. None of that was true. But it's legal for cops to lie, legal to manipulate, legal to grind a man down until he questions his own memory. That's not justice. That's coercion. And Larry, who stayed strong for hours, eventually broke down. Not with a confession, but with doubt. Maybe I just don't remember. And that was all they needed. I didn't have money for a big hotshot attorney, but I had time, determination, and media experience. I wrote letters, sent DVDs, contacted Dateline, Oprah, even the Innocence Project, who, by the way, can't help until you're actually convicted. Crazy, right? So people rot in prison before anyone will even look at them. But I built the Free Woody campaign. I posted videos, shirts, logos. I called out cops, judges, lawyers, anyone tied to this case. Most ignored me, some laughed. One even told my younger brother, "Little boy, this is way over your head." But I wasn't going away. Okay, the so-called eyewitness cops couldn't even keep their story straight. One said he saw Larry fire. Another only heard a shot. The 911 caller said he saw Richard fire 2 shots into the ground, and later we found a neighbor willing to testify. She never saw Larry outside, and she swore no patrol car ever drove down that street. Her statement blew a hole right through the state's 4th shot fantasy. But prosecutors don't care about truth. They care about the win. They dragged it out, delay after delay, until Larry broke. After 3 years in county jail, they offered him a plea, 45 months, time served, almost freedom. Freedom dangled in front of him. If he just said the words, "I'm guilty." He took it, not because he was guilty, but because he wanted to live, because the alternative was life in prison. They told us he'd be out in weeks. Nope. Instead, they shipped him to state prison. 1 more year gone. And because he pled, because he gave them their deal, he could never sue for wrongful arrest, could never hold them accountable. On paper, Larry became their win, a conviction, a felon. That's the playbook. Force the plea, close the case, protect the system. October 29, 2015, after nearly 4 years, Larry walked out. My brother Todd picked him up. They had a burger and a beer. Freedom, but not really. He's still marked, still carries the scars on his back, in his mind, and in his record. He rides his Harley, plays his guitar, loves his cat Sassy. That's what makes him happy now. But whenever I bring up the case, he just says, "Let it go. Let it go, sis." He doesn't want to fight anymore. And honestly, I don't blame him. 10 years later, everyone suddenly wants to tell a story. True crime channels, podcasts, documentaries, all for views, all too late. Where were they when it really mattered? Where were they when a real man was rotting away in Broward County Jail? The truth is this: proof didn't matter then, and too often proof doesn't matter now. The justice system runs on fear, leverage, and deals, not truth. And that's why I tell this story. Because it's not just about my brother, it's about a system that can take any one of us, put us in chains, and call it justice. So yeah, free Woody, always.